Hey there YouTube, this is Jared with Omnivore Blade Works, and this is my Wilmont grinder with a plunge attachment. Chris actually came over and helped me get it all calibrated with the 5/16 inch contact wheel, and it's been very helpful for this batch I've been working on. I've got some Americanus Bowie knives that are made out of 3V steel from Crucible Metals. And they're almost done. I mean, almost ready for heat treat. Got all the beveling done, and I just got to go back and do some deburring, and I got to figure out what to put on the pommel because I made a threaded stud there. So see how that all comes together. Also have some daggers. This is the what I'm going to call the Raven Ultimate dagger, and it's going to have a fully enclosed tapered tang. You can kind of see the taper here a little bit, but I'll be making that out of either micarta or taro tuff or some kind of wood with my CNC router, and then I'll glue it in place with some epoxy, and then because the router is going to make a rectangular, it's going to make a pocket that's the same profile as this tang, but it'll be square instead of tapered. We'll basically bed it into the new handle with epoxy, put some release agent on the tang, so that way once it's all pinned in place, if you happen to want to take it apart, refinish the knife, or if you've got a real big chip, or who knows what happens under duress with a knife, even though it's going to be damn near indestructible dagger, you might want to have it refinished someday. So you'll be able to pull the handle off, pull the guard off, and then put it back together again. So I'll show you how this attachment works. I should be wearing a dust collection on my face, but I don't have it, so I'm just going to run the thing slow. Usually I'll turn my phase converter and run it up nice and easy, but I know that I just had this turned on, so it should track just fine. So I will go ahead and turn on the phase converter. And then I'll take one of these ponchos, and basically all you're doing is just running up against the contact wheel, which is very, very close to being tangential to a platen. And then you just kind of run it back and forth a little bit. And interrupt with something like that. I need to go back and clean up some more of this, but you can see that's what your plunge cut ends up looking like with a machine, which is very handy. This belt's kind of worn out, so I need to change up to a new one. Only problem is with this setup is that because it has a small wheel, you can't really get into it and do a big wide blade like this, because it just won't fit in that hole. And you need to have a wider belt, or you would need to run a hard platen like the one that I used to run on my KMG, where you can just have the belt coming up and over everything, and then nothing touches at all. So I'm going to have to run this attachment in order to do that later. But luckily I can run that attachment on this Wilmont grinder without even using the traction wheel, so that's kind of neat. So that's what I've been up to. I've got the extra long Americanus Bowie knife, which basically was the horribilis chopping knife, the horribilis chopper. But because the horribilis is such a unique blade, which is this one in my right hand, it's going to probably go back to the original profile, which is kind of a straight bayonet style blade, and then it'll have the batoning edge or draw knife edge, not an edge, but gripping area, so that way I can maintain a really strong point. And this is basically just meant to lash to a spear because it has the skeletonized hilts and the hole in the handle. And then it's also a good chopping and just all-purpose knife for survival purposes. Whereas this Americanus chopper is going to be more of a working bushcrafter blade, where it's just made for chopping and then without any real combative purpose, or at least won't be easy to lash into a spear pole. So there's some differences. I'm also going to do the Americanus with a guard in the next batch. So you can imagine a hidden taper tang with the same flavor as this one from with this Raven, but on the Americanus blade profile. So I'm kind of excited about that. Of course, I also have, I don't know, 5 or 6 of these harvest knives that are almost done, and they're full tang, 1095, and then I haven't even cut out the blanks for the next batch. So I got to process a bunch of stuff and then keep on rolling, and hopefully by blade show time I'll have at least a few things to carry with me. I don't think I'm going to do a table, but I'll be down there walking around, probably looking like a fool with a bunch of web gear and backpack and whatnot. So is there anything you want to try to meet me and get at the blade show in person, better email me and let me know. sressentials@gmail.com. Alright, until next time, hopefully we won't damage our bodies in the process of making all this stuff. Adios.